Okay, so it's going live any seconds now. So I'm just waiting. It's setting up the meeting for YouTube Live, and it's done. Okay. Okay, that's all. Right. Just bear with me. I'm just trying to set it up. Okay. I think we're actually live now. Let me see this going on. Oh, yes, we are live. We are absolutely live now. So, 1 minute. Right, okay. So, got it. Right. So thank you all for joining. Thank you all for joining. And today we're going to be talking about understanding the educational system in the United Kingdom. It's got loads and loads of parts to it. And we're going to break it up into segments. We're going to talk about the nursery part of it, talk about the primary and the secondary school as well. Even in the secondary school, it's got different parts to it. So we are just going to break it up. And if you know you've got any, please mute so it doesn't interrupt anything. Please just mute as we're about to start presenting now. Amina says she's connecting from Croydon and she got it from LM UK. Thank you very much. So I'm just going to swiftly move on. Can everybody see my screen, please?
Yes, we can. We can see your screen.
Okay, thank you. So this program is brought to you by ASEB Consultancy Services. The services that we offer include counseling for adults, teenagers, and family, life coaching for adults and teenagers, mentoring for teenagers, and also courses on positive psychology for parents and for children. And also we assist parents as well to help manage their children's behavioral problems, or maybe they have issues with school. We can also help them with that as well. And also we have our partners in the house, Academic Educational Services. So if you want to study abroad, based on foundation, undergraduates, post-study, or short courses, they are the people that you need to call. They've got different link with different universities in the United Kingdom, in US, and in other countries as well. So if you know anybody that wants to have a SIM-free relocation to the United Kingdom via educational system, then they are the ones that you need to call. Okay, I'm just going to admit more people. Since I'm going to have to make you co-hosts to help me with this, because I got people coming. So I'm going to make you co-hosts so you can admit people. Right, okay. Sorry about that. So these are the people that are sponsoring today's events. So the UK educational system, anything we're going to be sharing here today is mainly going to be based on the England side of things. They might have similar schemes or similar structures in Wales, Scotland, and Northern England. I am not quite sure. So you will have to find out those information. So I'm just putting out a disclaimer. What we're sharing here today is going to be based on England. So let's say you have a child and a baby and you moved into the United Kingdom, or maybe you're a new arrival, you're already here. You need to find, in order for you to be able to go to work, you can use a childminder, but please do ensure that the childminder is registered in the United Kingdom, because it's very important for you to do that. So you need to find a creche or a nursery. Basically, to apply for that, you just need to walk into any of the nursery or the creche that is close to your location, either close to the location of your house or close to the location of where you are working. Once you get in there, most of the time, you don't need to book any appointments. Just walk in there and signify your interest or make your inquiries. They will then let you know if it's okay for you to do a tour, or they'll book an appointment with you to come in. So it's quite straightforward like that. They will tell you all you need, the fees, and when it's open, when it's closed. If they have any other additional services that they offer, they will let you know. And also what your fees include and everything. That is basically what they will do. It's pretty straightforward. But before you do that, I really do advise people that are new into, before you go and book your child into a creche or a nursery, make sure you have a word with your partner. If you're married, have a word with them and see how well you guys can work together in such a way that maybe there will be time that you or your husband will be able to stay with the baby at home. I'm saying this because it will help to reduce the costs, because nursery and creches, they are quite on the high side. So depend on how much you are earning. So remember to consider that before you start looking for creche, and then you know how many hours that you'll be able to afford. So basically, we have 3 systems for the government-funded early education scheme. We have the 15 hours, which is eligible for 2 years old. We have the ones 15 hours that is eligible for 3 years old. We have the 30 hours that is eligible for the 3 to 4 years old as well. So now you may be asking, how do I even go about this? How do I know? So the first thing I will tell you is, when you are going around the local nurseries around where you work or where you live, ensure that they are registered for this scheme, because not all nurseries are registered with this scheme. So if they are not registered with it, what that means is that you're going to have to pay them full time. This scheme is government funded. So make sure you ask them that question. Don't just assume that they are registered just because they are based in the United Kingdom. So for the 2 years old, all you need to do, if your child is 2 years old, you need to contact the local nurseries around you, or maybe you can apply through the councils around you. There are links that you can see on my slide right now. I'm going to be dropping it on the YouTube page, which is Abiesonia. Like I said before, if you know you are not following, kindly follow, because all the link on the slides, I will be dropping it there for you to click, and then you can then use it to pursue more information that you want. So now you may be asking, I have on my passport no recourse to public fund. It doesn't matter. If you have no recourse to public fund and your household income is no more than £26,500 outside of London. Now, inside London, the threshold is higher. Inside London is 34,500 for one child. Okay, outside London is 26,500. So if your income is not more than that, whether you have recourse to public fund or not, you qualify, and then it's not going to work against you in any form when you're applying for renewal of your visa, because there are forms that you can fill. Like I said again, these forms, I am going to be dropping the link in my YouTube channel for you to click on, because they are going to be asking you proof. They'll ask for your P60, they'll ask for your employment letter to really see that your household income falls within these brackets, because it's very, very compulsory that you get into this scheme if you know they are going to be helping you rather than paying all that money by yourself. So all the fees, how will I say it now? The amount is right there on this slide. I really wanted to ensure that you get this right. So if you want to take a screenshot of this, you can. The form, like I said, I will drop the link. And also make sure you don't have £16,000 lying in your account, sitting down pretty. If they find out you have that kind of money, you will pay for it. So please make sure you don't have up to £16,000 in your account, even if your household income is within that bracket as well. So what do you do once you find out about this? You need to contact the childcare provider, ask them if they are within the scheme that offer 2 years free education for 2 years old. They will do everything for you. All they need is your documentation, your passports, your payments, your income and everything, the details, P60 perhaps. They will need all of that. Or you can go to your local council. This link you are seeing here, I'll be dropping it on the page. So now you may be asking, how do I get to this form to fill all this form if I have no recourse to public fund? All the information that I'm sharing with you here, I got it straight from No Recourse to Public Fund website. So this is not Chinese whisper. This is, they update their record. This is an up-to-date information. So the application form, by the time you get to the website, once I drop the link, you will see, can you see the highlighted form there? The yellow one, that is the form that you're going to fill. Okay, you fill it, put in all the details, your income and everything you need to put in there, and they will see if you qualify. They will let you know if you qualify or not based on your income. Then if you have 3 to 4 years old, then they can also apply. But this time, you do not need to apply directly. Contact the local nurseries around you to find out, and then the application will be done on your behalf. Okay, so you need to go and meet them, the nurseries around you, just walk in, talk to them, and they'll tell you, well, even though the government is paying for this for you, for the 3 years of that's 15 hours, if you need more hours, then you will have to pay for that. And also you may have to pay for the meals, that's the breakfast, the lunch, and the dinner. Depending on how long the child is going to stay in the nursery, you have to bring your own nappies. If the child is still needing some milk and all of that stuff, then you will have to bring all of those extra things in. The free stuff does not go with it. It's just for those hours, the 15 hours. Now we have for those that are 4 years old, 3 to 4 years old, 30 free hours as well. Now you will need to register for this and you have to receive a code. Okay. And how do you know when to apply for this? When your child is 2 years and 36 weeks, that is the time that you apply for this. For you to know if your child is eligible, all this link that you can see here, I'm going to be dropping it under the video so you can do well and do more research by yourself. The document you're likely to need is your NI. So when you get into the country, make sure you do your NI as soon as possible so that nothing stops you. You can't go and tell your employer that I can't start work because I don't have the required document. Make sure you sort out your national insurance number as soon as possible. If you are self-employed, then you need your unique tax reference number. And also they will need your international passport, your tax credit. They only need one of these, either your international passport or your tax credit or your P60. They will need that. And obviously you're going to have a mobile phone because they will send you that code through that means. So, for example, you may be asking, how do I apply if my child is 2 years and 36 weeks? So this is a clear example. If you have a child that is going to be 3 between 1st of December to 31st of December, so you need to apply by November. If that's just a month before that child is 3 years old, right? So if you have a child that is going to be 3 between 1st of January to 31st of March, then you need to put in your application from February. Then if you have a child that is going to be 3 between 1st of April to 31st of August, you need to put in the application by 31st of July. So you just carry on like that, but ensure that you have the code ready before your child turns 3 so that you can just get those hours as soon as possible. Like they said, every little helps. Excuse me. So good news, right? Now, as if that's not enough, according to the Chancellor's announcement in March 2023, they are going to increase the hours for parents. So when I mean increase, you don't have to wait till your child is 2 years. From 9 months to 3 years, you can get it. But don't worry, that is going to start from next year, not this year. So from next year, that same thing carry on, which is the 15 hours for 3 years old, for 2 years old as well. But from September 2024, next year, if your child is 9 months, from 9 months, instead of you waiting till 2 years or 3 years, from 9 months, you can get those 15 hours. That is so good because, to be honest, I know how much we paid for our children's nursery when they were in the nursery. It is not even funny. I knew of my colleague then that had to just take the time off for 3 years because the money was as if you're working to pay other people. So if you're not on the high end side of things, it can be really, really expensive. So you will understand why these extra hours that the government are paying for, you understand the usefulness if you have to pay for everything by yourself. Then from September 2025, then you even get more, right? You now get 30 hours as opposed to 15 hours. So there will be loads and loads of things, but ensure that whichever nursery you go to, they are registered, okay? So now I'm done with the nursery side of things for those of you that have toddlers. Now we'll move on to the primary school and the secondary schools in England. So in England, we have the faith schools, that's the Roman Catholic, the Church of England, the Catholic schools, and all of that stuff, right? And then we have the academies, which are run by the Trust of Academy. So now they get their money from the government. However, they are not run by the government. They are run by the academic trust. It can be anybody. It can be a pharmaceutical company who decide to sponsor an academy. The curriculum will be the same, but they are allowed to be flexible with their curriculum. With the faith school, they practice, they go to church. They always have a church attached to those schools. So they'll take them to church. If it's a Catholic one, they say they are A. Mary's. They do their assemblies in that place and all of that stuff, but not always. Special assemblies has to be held in that place. So their foundation is based on whatever religion, maybe it's the Church of England or maybe the Catholic. Then you have the private or the independent school. Those schools you have to pay for. So it's just like we have private schools in other countries, if you are from Nigeria, like the private schools where you have to pay for. Now, the government do not fund this. It's your money that you pay for your child that they use in running these schools. So if you know you have that extra money that you want to pay for your child's education, then you can, because it's worth it sometimes. Because in the main schools, we have up to about 30 people in the classroom, 32 people. But in private schools, you have maybe about 20 and even less in the classroom. So what that means is that the children have more attention of the teacher in the classroom. And the curriculum as well they can do whatever they like with the national curriculum. It can make it flexible, can stretch the children, they can add other things to it as well. I'm just admitting to people, sorry. Right, okay. And then we have the grammar school. So the grammar school, some of the grammar schools these days you have to pay for. Some of them you have to, is government funded, so it depends. My other speaker will be speaking more in detail about this. So the private school as well, the grammar school, you can get a scholarship in that school, but that most of the time is depending on your household income. So if you're new here and you just came in maybe this time of the year, which the school have already gone off, and then you can then get ready to start in September, so you can apply through school. So the first thing you need to do is to find your local authority. There is a link I'm going to be leaving on my YouTube that you can use this. So all you need to do is to put in your postcode in that, just like the screenshot, put in your postcode there and just click on find. So what happens there is that all the schools around you will pop up, and then you'll be able to see the different schools that are around you. Local authorities are different. Like this local authority that I took their screenshot, theirs is like this. Some of them, they are not well laid out. So you just need to search for either schools and children or look for education, depending on the layouts. Once you're able to find it, look for admissions. When you click on admissions, it will take you to different parts, different sections, the primary school, the secondary school, to apply online. So if you want to apply online, you have to register with the council. If you go to their office, the same thing, you have to register with the council, register the names of your children, upload all the necessary documents that are required there. So now, before you start choosing schools, right? Before you start going on that website and choosing schools, please do well to check the Ofsted report of the school you want to send your child to. You may be asking, what is Ofsted report? Ofsted report, there are inspectors that go to schools to rate schools based on how the school is being managed. It's also based on how the teachers, they are teaching, on how they deliver their lessons to your children, the behavior management strategy, and everything overall, how the school is being run, and the academic abilities of the children. So they will have an overall, these inspectors, they come in to check. So it's very important that you look for the Ofsted report. You may be asking, how do I get the Ofsted report? The link will be dropped. I will say this again. The link will be dropped under the video in my YouTube. You can go there and click on it and find out. So when you get there, the website is going to look like this screenshot here. Then you just click on Start Now. When you click on Start Now, it will take you to a place where it's a location. So you need to put in your postcode again. Your postcode, once you put in your postcode is that after you write the address, there's a number in the UK. That is your postcode. You need to put that in and then click on the area that you want, primary and secondary school, if you have children in that area. If you only have primary school, just click on primary. If you only have secondary, just do that as well. So once you click on that, what it will do for you to bring in all the names of the schools around where you live, to bring in everything. So you can see the search result there to bring in everything, all the schools, right? So once you bring in the names of the schools, all you need to do, let me demonstrate this from current. Okay, let me take this back a notch, right? So this is the Ofsted stuff. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a kinesthetic learner. I learn by doing so. So if you click on this, for example, just watch. So look at it. That is the Ofsted stuff, right? Find Ofsted inspection. You click on Start Now. Once you click on Start Now, type the location. Let me think of a postcode. So let me use this. 28. Okay, if I use that and I click on that, so all you need to do is just type in education and training. It brings it out, right? Primary and secondary, if you have children within that range, click on search. Once you click on search, all the schools, can you see? All the schools will come out. All the schools where you live will come out. Everything, all the schools. So you don't have the excuse of saying, oh, I'm new to the area, I don't know the names of schools. Don't worry. The internet is your best friend. You can find all the schools. So let's say you want to look at the Ofsted report of this. You click on the first one, and then the Ofsted report will come up, right? So that is the Ofsted report. Can you see that? So the Ofsted report, the schools are graded as adequate, outstanding is the highest, that's number one. Good, second, satisfactory, third, inadequate. There are some that are even called special measures. Special measures, please don't send your child to any schools that have special measures. It means they are failing woefully, right? Inadequate, don't send your child to any school that have inadequate, not good. Satisfactory, don't send. Because they always have space. Don't send your
Sonia,
child.
please, can you increase your voice a bit, please? I think people said they can't hear you very well.
They can't hear me. Oh God,
Very
sorry.
well, yeah.
I couldn't hear.
And
Yeah.
we're still seeing your
And your
slide. We can't see
slide.
the website yet.
You can see the website.
We can't see it. No, we're just seeing your slides.
Yeah, I
Oh,
can see from my
sorry.
side it's moving, but I don't know why others are not saying yeah.
You see the slide. What can you see?
I can see check school Ofsted reports from my side.
Okay. So
Yes,
come some
but
people can't see.
she's moved to the site to click on the site, isn't it? You clicked on the site to show us live, the
Yeah.
live
On how to
application.
go on it. On how to
Oh,
find
yeah,
it.
that's that one.
Okay, what can everybody see, please? Can you see the Ofsted report?
We're just
Yes,
seeing
I
your
can
own
see
slide.
Ofsted reports.
We're
Oh,
seeing your
oh.
slide.
Oh, why can some people see only slide?
I think maybe they need to refresh their network. I don't know. But I can,
Yeah, maybe you need to refresh.
No, I think Sister Joshua, what are you saying?
I can see check school Ofsted reports.
That's
That's
her
what
slide.
we are seeing.
Slide.
So
Add
if
her
that's why
slide. She hasn't gotten where she is now. We can't see it. Like where she's already searching for the thing, we can't see it.
see that, okay, do you know what? Let me stop sharing, right? Let me stop sharing. So I'm going to go back. Let me go back straight on that place.
I think on the YouTube is showing live,
Click on this, for example.
but on the Zoom
Just
is
watch.
different.
Really? I
Yeah.
don't know how that works. My technological skills is not as strong to understand what's going on here, but I do apologize. So I'm just going to quickly show you how to go on that Ofsted again, right? I'm going to show you that because I think it's very important that you understand that so that it will not look like I'm doing Chinese whisper. When I'm done, you'll be wondering, what did she just show us? But all this link that I'm showing you, they are going to be on my YouTube, right? And if you go on there, you'll be able to see it. But let me go straight on it, and then I will share straight from there before going back to my slide again, okay? So maybe that will make more sense. So let me just type it there now. Let me go back. Okay. I'm just going to share that screen. Thank you for letting me know, because if you were just typing, I didn't see it at all. Right. Let me see what I've opened. Okay. Right. Can everybody see stats now?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. This is why I like to do things live. Imagine if I was doing this recorded. I would just go, I would just say that it did not work. Right. So the link, this is what it looks like if you want to know the Ofsted report. Any school in England. Right? So you click on it, just click on start now. And then you can see this here, right? If you don't know the name of the school, don't worry. Just type your own location. Type your postcode. So if I use this postcode, VX, I use this, for example, I click on that, and I click on education, all of them will come out. And if you notice, if you also want to know the Ofsted reports of the child and early education that we discussed earlier, they also do Ofsted as well. Right? Don't want to take your child to any nursery that you don't really know. And I don't expect you to know, except you go and check these things. So if you want that as well, you can also click on child and early education, okay? So all the Ofsted reports will come out, and just click on search. Once you click on search, everything around where you live will come up, everything. Look at that. All of them just come up, right? So now what you're going to do, look for the one that concerns you. There's the nursery, there is another childcare one again. Let's look for a primary school one. So for example, let's click on this this thing. Is a good. Can you see the Ofsted report there, right? So the grading is outstanding. There is the good. There is the require improvement. There is the inadequate. This is the overall Ofsted report. And when were they last inspected? 2020. That's 3 years old. That's good enough. If you have anyone that is like 5 years, run, because they are about to be inspected. Especially if their destiny is not good, don't even go there. Requires improvement, don't go near it. Inadequate, don't go near it. Special measures is not even there. That's like 0. Don't go near it. Terrible, terrible place. Stay within good and outstanding. The council might have schools that have spaces on this. Do not let anybody bully you. They can't force you. They cannot force you to take a child to a school that requires improvement or inadequate. If they allocate it to you, don't go. But to prevent that, this is what you do. Look for those Ofsted reports. Pick from the ones that are standing and good. But bear in mind, if they have a standing, they are going to be really popular. They're going to be oversubscribed. So this is the reason why you don't waste time with your school, with your children's education. The way you are doing your doctors, your NI, your dentists, opticians, and all the stuff, your children's school should also be like that. Process it as soon as you get in, as soon as possible. So once you've done that, you've already chosen 3 schools. Always make sure you choose 3 schools. It's so important. If you choose only one good school, because you heard a lot of people saying it's good, is outstanding, what you are doing, you are leaving yourself open to the council to choose for you. And that is dangerous. you are leaving yourself open is not good. If you choose only one, I'm telling you because I've experienced it. If you choose only one and that school is oversubscribed, councils will give you the ones that have space. And those ones that have space might be requires improvements. And then the battle back and forth start. So if you choose 3, what happens is that if the first is outstanding, is oversubscribed, they will give you your next choice. If that one is full, they'll give you the third one. It's very unlikely that the 3 schools you choose are full. Very unlikely. At least there will be one that will be free that they will allocate to your child. So once they allocate, please, once you fill this application, always check the portal. Remember the council, I told you have to register to do all of this. Always check the portal. They will send it to you via email, but check your portal as well. When you check your portal, it's you will get those messages that they've offered you a place so that you can quickly accept. Delay is dangerous. Delay is not good at all. Please do not delay. Once you put that in, be checking your email, be checking the portals as often as possible so that when they reply, it takes from 5 to 15 days for them to reply. But please make sure you check as often as possible. Okay? So I think I'm just going to go back to my PowerPoint now to ensure I'll stop sharing. Go back to my PowerPoint to ensure that I've not missed anything out that I wanted to share with you. Please, did you all get that? Anybody?
Yes, thank you. There's a question for you, though.
Oh, a question. Thank you so much, Tajamri. Please, can we select those 3 choices as outstanding? If you have all outstanding schools in your area, please do well to choose it. But remember what I said, outstanding schools are often oversubscribed. So if I were you, go for 2 outstanding, 1 good. Because as you want good thing, everybody want good thing. If you go for 3 outstanding and then they are oversubscribed, you are leaving yourself open for the council to choose for you. That's what's going to happen. So I would really do advise you to go for maybe 2 outstanding and 1 good, so that at least you will know you. Someone raised hand, Kiki Lomo. Sorry if I didn't pronounce your name well. Please speak. I can hear you.
Thank you. Thank you. My question is, I learned that it's better to choose Catholic schools because of, this teaching style and all that. So sometimes if I want to choose a school, I'm always looking out for a Catholic school, whereas there are some government schools that are really available. So what do you think and what do you advise about that?
Catholic school is a government school as well. Thank you for the question, Kiki. Catholic schools are also government schools, right? So the thing is, are you a Catholic? If you are not a Catholic, how come you want your child to go to a Catholic school? I've seen some people that are not Catholic, they will not take their children to go and do baptism, because when you do baptism, then you have higher chances of getting their certificate. When you get your certificate, you get more points to get into that school, especially if you're starting, if they are going to release, the deadline is January and they are releasing the result by April, right? And then everybody is doing that. So what I would advise you is look for a good school that has a standing. If you're not a Catholic, you don't need to go and pretend to be a Catholic. Church of England is also good. My children went to Church of England. Church of England is good. Catholic is good. But other schools that are not faith school, they are standing or good. They are also good. Right? They're also good as well. So don't just base it on only religion. Also base it on how good is this school? What is their reputation? So think about that as well, and don't get so bogged down about Catholic school or Church of England school and things like that. So I'll really encourage you to look for Church of England as well. If you really want them to go to a faith school, look for Church of England. Right? Or look for a school that has a standing, not just Catholic schools. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
You're welcome. So for those of you that want their children to go to faith school like Kike, make sure you fill in the supplementary form. The supplementary form is very important. Very, very important. A supplementary form can be found from your school website, or you go to the school website itself. So that supplementary form is almost like the certificate of baptism for the Catholics. So if you're a Catholic, you want your child to go to a Catholic school. Once you baptize them, I don't know if I'm calling it right, if it's dedication, they call it. But once you have that certificate, you need to include the photocopy of it or scan it and include it when you are submitting your form. If you want to go to Church of England, then you need a supplementary form. Once you print it out, take it to your church. Whether you're a Pentecostal, whether you are a Methodist, take it to the place where you worship. Ask your pastor to fill that in. If you attend church every Sunday, you will get high points. If you attend church once in a while, they also allocate you point, but it's not up to 30. I think the highest point is 30. And then if you go to church once in a while, just write it down. I know some people like they go to church every day, or your priest will know, or your pastor will know. If you go to church every day, they will sign it there. So make sure you submit that with your form. It is very, very important. It makes a difference because they use points. If you are a faith person, you have that supplementary form, you will get points from 30 to I think about 10. You will get points. If you live close to the school, you will get points as well. If you have a child that is already in that school, or maybe a cousin, especially if their surname is the same, you will get a point for that. If the child is a look after child, or the child have a special need or something, you will get extra points. So there is a point system that they use to allocate a child to a school in the UK. All of this is your location, I repeat, your faith, your supplementary form, your baptism form. And then if you have a sibling already in that school, that will give you extra points. So all of these things count towards your point system. So make sure you submit everything. Nothing is too much. Submit everything. And please fill that form on time. Because the people that submit, as they're submitting, they are looking at the numbers they are accepting. Once it's full, it's full. Some schools have 2 form entry. What do I mean? Some schools take only 30. That's mostly primary school. But when it comes to secondary school, some of them will take, in a class, it's 30. So that's 1 form. If they take another 30, that's 2 form entry. If they take 3, that's 3 form entry. So what that means is that for the same year group, they will have 3 different sets. So if you're lucky for schools around you, they do that, the 3 form entry, that means they need 90. So if you submit on time, number 1, they mark it off. So by the time the 90 spaces is full, it becomes oversubscribed. This is why you see some classes 35 or 32. So it's important that you submit. Don't joke with it, because if you don't submit, the time is gone. So we'll talk about the Ofsted reports. We'll talk about how to understand the rating for Ofsted. Other tips I've already told you. 3 choices, very important. All the documentation. Now, if you are new to the country, they may require extra documentation. So the council where I live, they will invite you in. They will ask you to book an interview. Don't be worried about it. They just want to see if you understand the system. They want to help you. They want to explain certain things to you. That's all. Some council might invite you for an interview, some may not. So the councils differs. The way they operate, it differs as well. So they just do things, depends on how they are set up. Now, if the school system is already started in September and you just arrive in the country, let's say maybe January. So now that is in school admission. Do the same thing. They will send you an in-school admission take, and they might also invite you for interview. It's almost the same thing. Just follow the process. Register with the council, search for your council, check the Ofsted report, fill in all the forms, still submit your supplementary form as well. So this is what it looks like once you get your letter. So they'll write local authority, the name of the school, the decision, they'll write it there. Able to offer. You can see at the top there. Place offered. Then once you've already accepted that, they will just block the rest of them off, no longer required. So for example, the bottom one as well, they'll write unable to offer. That means the school is full, is oversubscribed. So they'll put you on a waiting list. However, you know why I said you should pick 3 schools? The second one, can you see what they've done? Able to offer, place offered. So once you accept that on time, then they will now go to the next one, able to offer, but no longer required. So this is what it looks like. It's pretty straightforward, very, very straightforward. And that it is. And I'll also talk briefly about the private schools. They're also known as the independent schools. Sometimes you have to go to the place, get your application form from the school directly. So if you want your child to go to an independent school, that's what you would do. But remember, they do charge a fee, just like we do in Africa. You will have to pay for it. Okay, people don't have to follow the curriculum, and they are inspected sometimes by Ofsted or by the independent Ofsted people as well. So remember how to apply for a private school. It needs registration directly to the school. They offer scholarships sometimes, but that would depend on your household. You have to write an entrance examination. And remember, full school fees is needed. So before you go and put your child in any school, remember they will do school trips. Everything they will do will require money. So if you have enough money for all of that to pay the school fees, that is not the end of it. You also have to pay for those extracurricular activities, those school trips, you have to pay for it. So if you know you cannot maintain that lifestyle, I will really urge you, go to a state-funded school or a grammar school if your child is very bright, and prepare them. That's all I have to say. Please, no need to stress yourself. It doesn't mean that if your child goes to a private school or a grammar school or a Christian school, they will not be the best in life. Those things, they are good, but that does not determine the future of your child. The link to the YouTube is already been dropped here. If you have not subscribed, kindly subscribe. I am going to yield my mic here, take questions. And if there is, that is me done before I will yield the mic to the second speaker. Any questions, please?
Okay.
Is there any question? Before I yield the mic. Okay. Thank you so much for listening. If you can just share what stood out for you in the presentation, what stood out for you in the presentation. Let's share. Feyi Kemi, please. You can unmute and speak. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the information passed. I think mine would be to add just a comment as well, based on personal experience. So, which is that sometimes we look at, outstanding rated schools, and sometimes you even find good rated school options. And sometimes even based on the experience, I've been in both instances where I can now say that I actually prefer the good rated school than the outstanding. So sometimes referral, maybe you speak, maybe there's a particular city, or you're going to maybe if you're coming new to the UK, you could just ask people there, oh, what do you think about this school? What do you think about that school? And then you'll be able to get, first-hand information about those schools. And ultimately, God, put it in prayer, and God will direct you as well.
Gary, thank you so much. That is absolutely important. Yeah, that was why I told Kike before that you can choose good, you can choose a standard school. You are very, very right. One more thing that I missed out is if you do not get the place that you want and you wanted to appeal, you can appeal. But there is no guarantee for it that you will get it. But ensure that when you're appealing, don't be scared. Write all your good reasons. Like you're doing a cover letter. Write all your good reasons there to be able to defend why you think your child should go to that school. Right? So, that's me done. Please, what stood out for you? I cannot do a presentation and nobody give feedback. We have to keep learning. So please type in the chat box what stood out for you in the presentation. What stood out for you? What did you learn? What would you take away from here now that you are here today? Thank you so much. I'll be looking at the chat box for a few minutes. Thank you. Said I like the show impact. Is everybody quiet? It's a very quiet audience today. Right. I don't want to waste the time of our second speaker. I am going to yield the mic to you. Thank you so much for your not just show and telling. I'm going to yield the mic to you. So please, I'll yield the mic to Ms. Adesua Kashuku. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Sonia. It's a privilege to be here to speak to people about these topics that are very dear to our hearts, because that our children are very, very important to us. And just to move with the flow that you have already started, I'll move on straight onto my part. Please, you're sharing my slide for me. So I will just start. I'm going to be talking about the grammar school side of things, and also I'll talk about the college and university entry as well in the UK. So starting with a grammar school is one of the several different type of schools in the history of education in the United Kingdom and other English-speaking countries. Originally online teaching, Latin, but more recently academic-oriented secondary school. So one will ask, what's the difference between a comprehensive secondary school and a grammar school? And I'll tell you that grammar schools are state secondary school, academically selective, you know, contrary to comprehensive secondary school that Sonia talked about. These are academically selective. What makes them academically selective? It means that everyone cannot just get in. You have to take an exam and you have to pass that exam, meet the cutoff mark for you to get into these schools. Okay, so for a student or for someone to get into this school, they have to be academically really, really good. So that's the difference between a secondary school and a grammar school, because for this comprehensive school, everyone can get in as long as you are that age. Once you are in certain age, you'll be able to get into the school. You don't need to take any exam at all. So for grammar school, you need to take exam. So that is the difference. So people ask, what type of exam do grammar school seeks? What type of exam? So the subjects are tested in what they call the 11 plus, which are English, maths, verbal reasoning, and non-verbal reasoning. Verbal reasoning, people call it VRO, non-verbal reasoning, NVRO. So those are the two most common exam boards used for 11 plus. So they have two exam boards, which are the CEM and the GL exams. Okay, these are the assessment that is based on, and every school do different type of exam. So if you are researching a particular grammar school for your child, it is very important that you find out which of the assessment are they using. Are they using CEM or are they using GL exam? Because that will base, your preparation will be based on that. And the exam type they are taking will be based on that. And the materials that you are going to use to prepare as well will be based on that. Okay, some selected schools such as Hayton, Harrow, Westminster, they do their own exams. They don't do CM or GL. They do their own exams. Those ones are just selective grammar school. So now, what's the difference between the CM and GL exam? The GL assessment, is majorly strong vocabulary, logic, maths, and spelling skills are what they need, that are required. So strong vocabulary, logic, maths, and spelling skills are what they use for the GL. While the CEM, they use strong English comprehension, vocabulary, spelling, math skills are required. So you can see some people tend to say, oh, CEM is harder than GL, but depends on the child preparation. When they prepare very well, they will be able to handle most of them. So in CEM, verbal reasoning skills are very different to GL and GL. So you can see that their verbal reasoning skills is very, very different. Very different. And the success is dependent on the child having much wide-ranging vocabulary. But the CEM 11 plus exam, they consist of 45 minutes paper, which can either be multiple choice or standard, depending on the area that they are consigned. While each paper has a mixed topic, including English with some verbal reasoning, non-verbal reasoning, and numerical reasoning, maths. And the GL assessment paper will cover English, maths, verbal, and non-verbal reasoning. So please, I will advise that parents should find out from the school that you want to apply, which of them, that is relevant to you. But the good news, at least to avoid all this confusion, is that from September 2023-24, most of the grammar school, they want to change their process to the GL assessment so that at least it can be uniform. And if that is done, that would be really, really, really good. So if you are applying for a child that is going to enter year 7 in September 2027, they are likely going to be taking the 11 plus GL exam paper. So if you want to apply for grammar school test for 2023, when is the best time for you to apply? The best time to apply is April. Most of the school start their admission process in April. So bring the school. Have they started their admission? If they have, request for application. Most time they'll send you a link, you go online and you do it. So most offers, most admission open in the month of April. If you meet, and the deadline, the admission frame for you to apply is always short. So it's good you follow it up. If you have to set your reminder to follow it up. And once the deadline is done, that is it. Exams are mostly done in September, and most time is always the first 2 weeks of September, most school. But private school tend to do theirs in October. But for grammar school, most of their exams are in September. Moving forward, when should I start preparing for a grammar school exam? I know for me, and with experience, I will encourage parents to go with long-term approach. Long-term approach. Don't do a crash and preparation for your children just for them to get into the school. When they get there, they will not be able to sustain the momentum, because these are children that are academically sound from different areas coming together. There is no middle ground. So if the child have not started preparing a long time, they are going to struggle. And there are no classroom assistants like you will get in the regular schools. They don't have in grammar school. There is no classroom assistant. Most of the studies is after the teachers are done, is self-taught. You need to see the plan that these children used to do revision. They have to research. It's like someone in uni. They have to do their own plan. They have to research. It's hard work. So if your child is not academically cut out for that, please don't pressurize them to go to a grammar school. So it is possible to start 11 plus tuition preparation process at a very young age. For me, you can start from even year 3. And some people say year 1, year 2. Yeah, you can even do that. All you need to do is to get them bond book and just make them play on it. 20 minutes, 10 minutes, just for them to get used to doing that, because the area they are testing them, they don't do this in school. They don't do verbal and non-verbal in school. So they need to get used to this, area. Once they start working very comfortably within this area, then it will become like part of them. So for my children, I started like in year 3. So with year 3, they started practicing with what they call bond book. The bond book now, they've even made it very good. They have online bond book now that you can subscribe to, and you have past exam, you have things to practice with while you are, doing your verbal and non-verbal, which is very, very good. Your maths, your English. So they are age regulated. So the one you will use in year 3 is not what you will use in year 4 to prepare, is not what you will use in year 5. So for every year, as you attain, you see that it's different. It becomes really difficult. So it is very advisable that as you practice you work on your timing. Timing is very, very important. You know, as a parent, you begin to time them. Once they are practicing, they are doing their assessment, find out how long they are taking with the timing. You know, the more they get confidence, the more they will be quick to do it. And if they can avoid any mistakes and all that, you find out that the child will go and write their exam, they'll just come out smiling. And you have not only just prepared the child for the exam, but again, you have prepared them for the academic rigorous things that will happen in grammar school. So it is very good that you someone just asked if they can get the recording. Yeah, it will be on YouTube, so you can listen to it again and get this information. So it is very good that we start preparing them, you know, very early. Please don't do crash program for them. Many parents have done this. They get a private tutor for their children. Probably when they get to year 5, they know they're going to do the exam by September, and they get a crash teacher to get them in. And by the time these children get there, they can't sustain it and they tend to struggle. And what that means is that either the child will pull out or they just suffer, and that is not fair. So what score do you need on 11 plus to get into a grammar school? Well, depends on the school, but they require at least 80%. At least 80%. So some schools will like, okay, cutoff mark, the overall mark might be 260, and they will tell you their cutoff mark is 236. So every child that scored between that 236 and 260 will get in. So you can see that it is very, very close. And sometimes some children will have 235. If your child have 235, please don't let it slide. You can appeal, and you can put that appeal together, and most times that child will get a place. Depends on how you put your appeal together, depends on the points that you are putting across. Most of the school, they are oversubscribed. Most of them, they have waiting lists, and so they are very, very strict, and the process is rigorous. So the pass mark will depend on the local authority and where the test was taken. Grammar school, we can say, our advice, not all areas have it, but some areas tend to have consecrated amount of grammar school. And I believe this is politically motivated. It's just like you go around most areas now, you won't get one, but you go to places like in the Kent area, close to in the south, you see about how many grammar school, more than 6-7 grammar school in the same area. And you see that property in those areas appreciate very, very well. And those areas are more kind of, you will see that there is no much diversity going on in those areas. So I believe for me it's politically controlled. But like in the Northwest where we stay, in Manchester, you can see, you know, you look at Manchester now, we are talking about Trafford, Austria, and all those areas. You can see they are all in the same area there. Then you come to Wira. Wira has 6 grammar school. Why is that possible when Warrington don't have one? So you begin to ask yourself, how are they doing this? So you just have to research and see. You go to Newcastle, there is none. They only have one private school or so. So you begin to see what they are doing, and it's a class thing as well. Because you go to most grammar school, most of them don't want to spend money in independent school. Independent school are the ones that you pay money, and they want their children to go to a very sound academic school. So they tend to control it to make sure that it's not open to everyone. Our grammar school had to get in. Sorry about that. Grammar schools are often very difficult to get into. They are oversubscribed because of high popularity and no fee paying status. A grammar school you don't pay. If you see a school that is answering grammar and they pay, it means that it's an independent school. When they start paying, independent school are the private one. So there are some schools that they still answer the name grammar, but they have turned the school to independent school. And if you don't ask questions and you just apply, you'll be surprised they'll come to you with a fee and they expect you to pay. or they will tell you to apply for scholarship, which are mean tested. It means you will not appreciate above a certain level of your salary scale, because you're going to lose that scholarship. So these are the things we should find out before you start commenting, so that you will not waste the time of the child and make them study for nothing. So research, do your research very well. Find out the one that you are interested in, find out the type of assessment they are doing, and find out the criteria as well. And for most time, if you are from a different ethnicity, it tends to have, better opportunity to get in, but you still need to pass. You need to meet the pass mark. Okay. So what do grammar school look for? 4 possible keys are tested: English, maths, verbal, and non-verbal reasoning. You can find out more about the testing procedure by contacting the grammar school. Like I just said, you don't have to live within the grammar school area for you to apply, but you will be willing to move once you get a place, so that your child commuting to school will not be too rigorous for the child. Like I said, their academic structure is very tedious. Very, very tedious. If there's anything that I fall out with my daughter about, is the fact that I want her to go to bed because she's doing too much study. It's very rigorous, so you don't want to add the transport one to it as well. So if you are researching an area and you want your child to move there, please be ready to move with them. How do I prepare? I'll put this link on the website when I'll give it to Sonia. Bond book or online book, and apply to Explore Learning or Kumon, or you can engage the help of specialized teachers or private tutoring, or you can go to Exam Pass Plus as well, where you can get books that past questions that you can use to prepare. But please don't fall the victim of just looking at past questions and using them to prepare the children. Let them read. Let them get into the habit of studying, at least from year 3, 30 minutes a day. When they move to year 4, 1 hour a day. Let them get to that habit of studying and drawing out their plan, so that they will prepare themselves in every area for the grammar school when they eventually get there. So do you need to pay a fee? No, you don't. It is a state-funded academic selective senior school. The education a child receives at grammar school is paid for by the state, unlike at private school where you provide education for a free. Is education free in the UK? Yes, all children in England between the age of 5 and 16 are entitled to free place at a school, at a state school. State school receive funding through their local authority or directly from the government. And when I say age 5 to 16, 16 is when they finish their secondary school and then they apply to college. Yes, a child can still go to college for free. That's between 16 and 18. But once they are 18 and they don't have, let me say, legal, well, not legal status now, they don't have what we will call their immigration status will come into play here. Your immigration status will come into play, whether you are going to be able to access the university with student loan or subscribe fee, or you're going to pay as international fee. Depends on your immigration status. If you're here with work permit, your work permit is still within 5 years, you've not gotten your indefinite leave to remain, or you don't have your British passport, once your child is 18, they will not be able to apply for uni as home students. They will be going in as international students. I'm still going to talk about that as we are talking about university. So there are other categories of foreign national children who can enter the UK and attend the school. Those are children that are aged under 18 can enter the UK. If you're coming here as a student or you are coming here as someone that have work permits, or you're coming here with dependent visa, you want to bring your children, as long that they are under 18, you can come in with them and they can school. They can school here. Then we're looking at other category of children whose immigration status give them no right to enter the UK to access school. If your child is here with a student visa and they've come here to study in the secondary area, or they are here to do sixth form, or they are here to do uni, and anyone will consider being a child if you are 18 below. So if your child have come with a student visa to study, that child cannot now change and say, okay, I came here with a student, I don't want to do that again, I want to go and apply for a free school. No, the child will not be able to do that. The child will be regarded as international student, and they will have to pay for their fee. So when a child is into the educational system and they don't comply, and the school for any reason see that this child might be in breach of immigration rules, the school have the right to call immigration to report, and the council have the right to report because it is seen as an offense here. So now going to college application. College application. Generally, you need to have completed your GCSE. GCSE is what the exam you will take when you get to year 12. Is an equivalent to enrolling in, you have to have this for you to get into college. For you to get into college is not automatic. You need to enroll. So you need to have passed your GCSE, at least grade 9 to 4As, and all some schools, some different colleges have their criteria. So you need to do well in your GCSE and make it for you to get into college. So every school have their requirement. Every school that you want to go for college, you don't have to go to the college of the school you went to for your secondary. You have to research the college that is good for the specialty of the course you want to study. There are some colleges that are very good in science. There are some colleges that are very good in arts, and there are some colleges that are very good in other study like business and all that. So you need to do your research and know the college that you are going. When you go to colleges, you only do 3 subjects or 5, at most 5, but mostly 3 subjects. And those subjects, by the time you write the exam, it's called what they call A level. That is what you will now use to get into uni. And most of your uni application is carried out by your college. They will support you with your personal statement. They will support you with guiding you in choosing a career. And they will support you as well in making your UCAS application. So these things are very, very important. But one thing I want us to be aware is that for our children to get into uni is not automatic. It is based on your immigration criteria. What you need, what you have in your immigration will determine whether your child is going to pay the full fee or they are not going to pay the full fee. But it is very, very important that we get information. And the duration for college is 2 years. It's 2 years. Some colleges now, depends on the area, they will still ask for your immigration status and things like that. But by law, the child can access their college, which is 2 years, because they are not up to 18. It's from 18 years old that they need to pay if they don't have their indefinite leave to remain yet, or they don't have their British passport to stay. But if the child was given birth in this country, or they have lived up to 7 years in this country, it will be advisable for the parents to speak to a lawyer, because that child can apply for settlement based on long stay, private life, 7 years. They can apply for their own stay for them to be able to, access further education rather than waiting in a limbo. please get immigration help in that area. So applying for university, you have to, as an undergraduate, you go through what they call UCAS. That's University and College Admission Services. So with UCAS, you can make up to 5 choices of schools, I think even more. So you can choose different schools based on what you want and the course and how strong the area are. There are some schools that are, again, very strong in different subjects. So it's good for us to research those schools. Some people have this different career criteria when they are making these choices. Some want to be closer home. Some don't want to be close home. They want to run away from their parents as far as they can go. And some want to a place they can come home and come and get some good jollof rice, weekend, and soup. So different thing, and some people just base theirs purely on academic excellence and say, okay, this school is good in this, I'm going to go for this and all that. So these are things that, we can help our children in preparing for school. But I would really advise parents, when your children are getting into college, if they can get work placements relating to the area they want to do, that would be very, very good. Again, work placement, we teach them some skills that you might not be able to input in them. They need to experience this, and it prepared them for a brighter future. And also part-time job, I know that helps with money management and then really appreciating what you are doing for them as a parent. So that 2 years after they've done their GCSE is a really good time for us to input some values into our children while we are guiding them. They have their own mind and all that, but we are still there to guide them. But you can't force them. It's good that you guide them and help them to be the best that they can. So this information I've given, I know when you come to Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, some of their educational policies might differ from England, but most time is not too much. So if you are in this area, it's good that you do double check up to see what their criteria is and when it comes to this area. So it is very, very important that we guide our children right. The fact that they are here, that they are born here, does not automatically give them the leeway to qualify for everything. Please double check. It's better we find out rather than being sorry later. So I think especially families that are coming in, that they should be aware of this information. Begin to prepare for uni for your children. Thank you. I think I'll hand over back if there is any question to Abiosonia. If there's any question, I'm happy to take them and answer them as we go. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was just explicit. Before I call someone to, because I can see hands up, please, can you please just appreciate Mrs. Adeso Akashuku? Appreciate her in the comment section. And just, if you can share what you've learned in this session, share what you've learned in this session. There must be something. I was once a teacher. They say, once a teacher, always a teacher. So tell us what you've learned from this session. Tell us what stood out for you. What are you going to take away from this session? Do well to share the link. Share the link with people. People need to know this. Sometimes when I get called to ask these questions, I'm just thinking, people need to know this. Don't think, because you know it, everybody knows it. No, not everybody. Please do well to share this information with people. We've got about 25 people on this call. If you are not following us on my YouTube, what are you waiting for? Go and subscribe. I've dropped the link. Things are coming in. They're appreciating you, Mrs. Adeso Akashiku. Thank you so much. Thank you. They said very informative. Thank you very much, Ma. I am new. Okay. There's a question here. Please, Sister Jemery, Sister Yemisi, please just give me 1 minute. Mr. Adewale said, I am new father of 9 months old. I'm preparing myself for this information early. Oh, okay. I thought that was a question coming up. Thank you for thanking her as well. Yemisi said, thank you for the presentation. Titi Lokbe said, thank you Oh, okay. Thank you for thanking me too. The bond book, I'm going to include it. The bond book, Explore Learning, everything. I'm going to include it on the link on my YouTube. So when you come, once you watch the video, all you need to do is just click on the information. Once it drops, just click on those links there and do what to make do with what you want with it. Right. I'm going to call Sister Yemisi. Please unmute and ask your question.
Thank you very much, Sister Abisunia and Sister Deswa. It's great presentation.
And I know the Yemisi.
Oh, now you know the Yemisi. Yeah, I was one of the people that were telling people, please make sure you attend this session, because in this country, information is power. So thank you so much for all you do. So Sister Deswa, I just wanted to ask about A levels, like sixth form, and then college. Like, what's the difference? Is this the same thing? What's the because some people after GCSE they do A levels, or they go to sixth form. Some people go to college. So I just need that clarification, Sister Deswa.
Yeah, sixth form is college. Sixth form college. Yeah,
Okay.
sixth form college. After GCSE, you still need to do your A levels before you go to uni. Because when in the UK, they'll say 18 before you get into uni. But if you're coming from abroad, some schools like in abroad can do A level within a year, and they can come in at 17 and get in, for them to do their degree. But they tend to do their A levels, which is the sixth form college, for 2 years. But you don't necessarily have to attend the sixth form where you did your GCSE. You can go to other sixth form that meets your vision and what you want to do ahead.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification.
Thank you very much. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thanks.
All right. So I'll come to Jemery. Jemery, are you still there? Please, can you unmute and ask your question?
I put my hand down because Sister Yemisi just asked my question. So thank you for that.
Okay, that's fine. So I've got Wumi. So please, if I didn't pronounce your name well, just correct me. But what I can see from this spell is a very unique Wumi. Please, can you unmute and ask your question or make your contribution?
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you so much, Sister Soni. Thank you for Sister Deswa. It's a very informative program, and I love to be part of it all the time. I just wanted to ask my daughter she's presently in year 7, going to year 8. I think I've discussed it with Sister Yemisi, but I think this platform is very good to just throw it out there and get as much feedback as possible. So she's going to year 8, but then I got the information about the grammar school. So I've tried to actually apply for some of the grammar school. I filled some forms online, but I've not heard anything back from any of the schools. I know because some of them are holidays and all that. But I want to ask, how easy is it for her to get admitted? Because already she's already in another school, but I'm trying to get her into a grammar school from year 8, not the normal year 7. So I don't know how that really works out and how it's easy for her to get in that way. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that question. She can do what they call in year transfer, but in year transfer, you still need to write exam. So I believe I don't know when you made the application, but most schools, they've just done their all exams for their in-year transfer. So they've already done the one for the academic year that passed. So for September, it will be, if you have identified the school you want her to go, you call them by September and they will give you a date when they will start giving out forms for in-year transfer for you to fill those forms. But the thing is this, when you fill those forms to apply for the in-year transfer, it's just that most people are waiting as well. So it is really tight because at the end of the day, when the children, and what surprises me is that they don't stop receiving applications. They will accept them all, let them write the exam, and by the time they write the exam, even when they made the cutoff mark, they will tell you, oh, you've done so well, you made the cut, but we can't take you at the moment because we have too many children. We only have one space in year 9, one space in year 2, or 2 space in year 2, or, just like that. So at the end of the day, you put in an appeal, and depends on the criteria the board are going to sit down, they will make their decision. and they will choose the child they want to choose. So going in through in-transfer is very tight. It's very tight, but it is not something you should be discouraged. Try it and you might just get it. Yeah.
Thank you, ma.
Sister Umi, did that answer your question?
Yes, ma. Thank you so much. Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome. You're welcome. Kiki Lomo, do you mind if I call you Kiki? Please unmute and ask your question. Kiki, that's the one.
Or you call me Kike.
Okay, Kiki.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you want to ask your question or make your contribution?
Yeah, I want to appreciate you once more for this opportunity and to thank Mr. Desua. Thank you so much. Always. Thank you. So my question is this. Studying for the grammar school, I have one of my son who is going to year 5 now. So I was using the book earlier, but along the line, I got busy. I actually wanted to monitor him, but I couldn't do it for a while. So he stopped. Now he's going to year 5. So I'm concerned based on what Deswa said that it's better they start early so they are used to it. So I want to seek an advice on what can I do. He's going to year 5 now. What can I do to prepare him for that level? Then she also mentioned that the exam will be in September. Is it in year 5 they're going to write the exam or when? So I just want a guide on this, please.
Okay, all right. So for the children that are going to, like now, I have a child that's going to year 5 by September. So for that child, she's not writing her exam this year. She'll be writing her exam. That's true. She'll be writing her exam next year. Immediately she entered year 6.
Okay.
She'll be writing her exams. So by the result normally comes out in February, March. So by February, March, you already know whether she's going or not. So this, if your child is in year 5, it means that your child will be writing the exam September of year 6. That's the very first month once they enter year 6. Now, 2 things. I know it's going to be very demanding on that child because you have left it too late, but I want to ask some questions because this is relevant now to your child, because we all know our children. When your child has a school report, there's what they call exceeding expectation. There's what they call working at the rate they expect him to work. And there's what they call the child is not meeting targets. So when you look at your child reports, in all his report, is it exceeding expectation? Or is it just meeting the targets?
Meeting the target.
Okay, so that means working at his rates. Because if that child was exceeding expectation, I would say, okay, that child is already doing very, very well. So it means that the child is in top table. So if that child is in top table, it means that it might, with very consistent practice guide on ground, it should be able to meet up. So now it's not left for you, because I don't want you to do to these children is for us to stress them unnecessarily. So you now have to look at your child and assess and say, okay, can he do it? If you can be consistent every day, 1 hour, and you need to be consistent as a parent, because it has to start from you. Children, you cannot just give them the book or give them the login details and say they will go there and play. They will do it for 1 minute. You'll be surprised that they send you reports. You will see that they worked for 1 minute and they were playing. So you need to do it with them. If you know you can do that, then that'll be fine. And don't forget, the hard work is just starting now. It will be more once they get into school. So I think the question is relevant and is really relevant and unique to your child. But do that assessment and make that judgment based on what you're saying now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ma. Yeah.
I hope that helps, Umi. I hope that answers your question. Another thing I would like to drop in, I've worked in a grammar school before, and like Ms. Sakashiko said, they don't have any teaching assistant there. So what that means is that we are actually having extra resources to stretch the children that has finished their work. So if you have a child that has been tutored so much to pass the grammar school, and that tutoring does not continue, you are setting that child up to fail. And also it will affect their confidence. I used to have a child, everybody in the class, they're asking me for extra work. This child is drawing me back to come and explain more things. And I started wondering what could have happened to this child. Not just once, it was consistently doing that. And when I dug into it, I found out that he was coached to come to that school. And apparently they did not carry on with that tutoring. And I did not think that was fair. That's not fair. So any parent here that want your child to go to grammar school, after the exam, please do well to carry on with that tutoring. It is very, very important. You started with tutoring, you have to carry on with that tutoring until they finish, because that will help them to carry on with that pace. Just imagine you're an athlete and then you prepare, you won your first Olympic, right? And then the next one they put you forward, you did not prepare that much. What do you think is going to happen? That athlete is likely not to perform well. I may not even be selected to go to Olympic again. So it's very important that once you start it, you have to carry on with that tutoring and carry on with that level of study until they finish. I just thought I would add that to it. Please, Ms. Sakachuku, don't disappear on us yet. We have more hand. Kemi, I saw your hand a long time ago. I was just waiting for her to finish. So
Sorry.
please unmute and ask your question or make your contribution.
Sorry, I think I have to go back on mute. I have a little one. Okay, it's quiet now. So I raised my hand up initially and someone already asked the question about in here. And then this is just me thinking out loud, like do the secondary schools, like the grammar school, do they in any way refer to maybe the kids' report from primary school? Or is that, okay, the child has just finished from primary school and they don't in any way, let's say, get the feedback from how the child performed when the child was in primary school? It's just me thinking out loud. I'm not sure how that would affect the admission process, but I just want to know if you have an idea if that happens.
Well, the process, their what they score, or let me say their attainment in primary school will not really have any bearing on their admission. The admission is purely based on their score and then meeting the cutoff mark for the exams.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kemi. Please don't go yet. There's still a question for you. Please, let me see a video. God, someone said, what is the difference between college and apprenticeship? Right, I will just throw a bit and I will allow to add to it as well. Apprenticeship is when you are learning on the job. So what that means is that you are not going to be going to college most of the time. You go to the place of work. So let's say, for example, you're learning how to apprenticeship on maybe, let me say, computer. So you have to go to a place where a company that deals with such things, you will be working there. And then you're going to be meeting up with your college tutors as well to be doing some work with them. So apprenticeship is working on the job. That is what apprenticeship is. College is college. So college is the building, is the organization that take care of everything. They take care of the BTech, they take care of the apprentice, they take care of the A-levels and all of that stuff. So they are the house everything. They coordinate everything. Apprenticeship is just a route for people that want to learn on the job. That is the route. A-level for those that are very academic, that want to then go to uni. Apprentice, they don't need to go to uni. They can finish their apprenticeship and even get a job there. So if you have a child that is not so academic, it's not the end of the world. There are so many routes that people can use and they will still meet their potential. They will still be feeling fulfilled. So that is just what it is. Do you have anything you want to add to that?
Yes, that's really correct. And even now in the health and social care route, NHS have I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry, someone was just unmuted.
Okay.
Please carry on.
All right. Even in the NHS now, they've got apprenticeship routes as well for different ed courses, even if you want to work with car manufacturers, engineering, different things. There are different, you will get a job at the end of the day. Even with social work now, there's apprenticeship route that you don't need to go there, and you do it, and you will still get your qualifications. Because you are, as you're going, you're learning on the job, you get your qualification. So it depends on what you want to study and who you are. You know, you need to know yourself. There are people that they see it, they are doing it, and they do better. And some just want to really study. So you just have to know yourself. It doesn't mean one child is more special than the other. No, not at all. It's all about you knowing your strengths.
All right, thank you so much. I've got Viola, your hand is up. Please unmute contribution or your question, please.
Thank you very much. I think the last question that was asked when they talked about apprenticeship just kind of like took me to what I wanted to talk about. So we've talked a lot about grammar schools, but I think it's important that as parents, actually parents, most of us here from way back in Nigeria, that we understand that we're in a different society where different resources are available for our children to grow, not just the classroom. So there's this general push where at the back of our heads, everybody's preparing to go to grammar school because maybe that's the path that certain people have taken or people that we know before us have taken. We need to, like Sister Desuwa said, everyone needs to understand their children's individual strength, their weaknesses, and help them, you know, tailor themselves to ensure that they get the best as they grow. So it's not everyone that is going to go to grammar school. Some people will go to the normal public government schools and do very well. Some people will do very well in sports. And so because they're doing stuff in sports, they cannot handle the pressure of grammar school and all the academics and have to have a balance of 50-50. Some people are better with their hands and will rather do better when they're apprentice and go on that apprenticeship route. But so we need to also help ourselves as, you know, Nigerian parents in this country to be able to make the best of all the resources that are available to us. In Nigeria, if you don't go to school and you don't go to university, that's about it for you. You don't grow up to be a responsible person. Or we found ourselves in a society where the people that work in our offices now, if you talk to them, some of them are our senior colleagues, some of them started with the apprenticeship route and they're successful. So I just wanted to bring that balance to say that, because I know that we've talked about it in so many subtle ways where we say access your child's strength and weakness, but just to really put it out there to say, start to identify, you know, some people have asked for in-year transfer and stuff like that. And I can imagine it can be very stressful. And, you know, when Sister Desuwa explained, imagine your child having to write that exam, did very well, even got higher scores than probably someone that's already in the grammar school. But because they don't have space, they can't take your child. Then you start to stress. The child's also getting anxious and having anxiety and probably not focusing where they are because at the back of their minds, they think they're changing schools very soon. We need to, you know, help ourselves to just guide ourselves and just pray that, you know, that God will, as someone said, his child is 9 months old. That's how much pressure it is for us that are actually Nigerians. You want to succeed in this country. So many of the people on this call, I'm sure your kids our children are probably in year 1, year 2, but you were trying to get that information early because our minds are ticking. But even as our minds are ticking and we're getting ready for that, you know, high school and secondary school that we've got in Nigeria, let's just ask God to guide us and the Holy Spirit to lead us to make the right decisions for our children. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Viola. That was an awesome contribution. Right. Okay. Let me buttress on that, right? I told you guys that I've done my teacher training in the UK. Do you know that I went through the apprentice routes, right? It's not like I was not academic. Okay. So I already have a family. So I had to look for a way that I don't have to cough up a lot of money to pay for PGC and all of that. So I did a graduate registered routes. That was what I trained. That is an apprenticeship. So I was working in a school, but as an unqualified teacher, I was going to uni just 1 day a week. 4 days a week, I was doing my teacher training there. And I came out and I did 8 years as a teacher before going to explore other things. So please, if your child do not go through the university route or go through the normal academic route, it is also good. I did it and I did really well as a teacher, even if I say so myself. So I did well. So if you have a child that wants to go to the academic route, let them go. If you have a child that wants to go through the apprentice route, let them go. But before we go, I think Estaniso has got something to say. Please don't go yet, because we've got more information to share with you. Thank you so much. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to encourage as well that we should encourage our children with sport as well. Sport is another way that they can really get like good opportunities to, do things out there. Sometimes our children might not be academically, but sporty, they are very, very good. Encourage them. If you can support them, there is another way that they can excel very, very well. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much. If you notice, there is another key area that we did not cover today, and we cannot do that. That is not the way we are giving in this platform. So if you realize that we did not cover the special education need, it's not like we forgot about them. They are very important. Mr. Kashiko has worked with special education need as in extensively. I have worked with special education need extensively. So we recognize them and we feel that if we do not cover that side of things, it's not complete. The people referral units for people that behavior are going AWOL. We also have them, people that are in social emotional behavior disorder. I work in a school like that for 3 years. I've got that experience as well. So if we don't touch them, they will not cover the UK educational system thoroughly. So I just wanted you to know that we are going to be organizing something too. If you notice, we are almost going 2 hours on this, just this alone. So we cannot cover everything in one go. So if you know anybody that want more information on the assessments for special education need, on how to assess things, for the fact that a child has a special education need, it is not, how will I say it now? It's not for you to just feel, oh, that is it. No, it's not. In the UK, there are so many options that you can explore, and that child will still be able to live a fulfilled life. So please, if you know anyone that will need this information, we have your email address. We're going to send the email out once we have a definite information. We're going to break it down because I don't like people sitting down for too long. We're going to break it down into the special education, the assessment. They will bring someone to talk about other ways they can assess things once they finish school. They will talk about other alternative provisions. They will talk about the behavior management in terms of the social and emotional behavioral disorder and the people referral. So that is coming in hot. So if you are still here on this call, you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, what are you waiting for? Go and subscribe so that you get notification as we are going to be serving it hot. Because what's the point of having all this knowledge? We are sitting on it and we are not sharing it out. We are doing this in our own time to educate people so that people will make informed decisions. So please do well to stay notified. Go and follow. And let's continue to serve you this information. I would like to thank you for your time. I know it's the weekend. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much, Ms. Sakashiko Adesowa, for your time. I'm dragging you on this journey by fire, by force. Thank you so much for joining us today and blessing us from your lived experience, from your words of knowledge as well. So please do it to appreciate her again in the comment section, if you may, as we round up this session. Thank you for your questions and your contribution. Really, really do appreciate it. Remember, it takes a village to bring up a child. Thank you so much. Do you have any closing remark, Mrs. Achukwu?
I just want to say thank you to everyone for really finding time. Sunday has been very hectic there, but I'm glad that we shared this and we can share to people within our circle of influence and those on our platform as well, so that people can get this information and not get anxious for nothing or make unnecessary mistake in this journey of life. together we all can fly. You know, the sky is very, very big for every one of us. Thank you.